Good morning, brothers and sisters from all over the world, to another day of Morning Heart Devotion. And to start off, we'd like to offer our greetings to our Heavenly Parent and True Parents. 청진 참부님께 경배! 바로. And to lead us in the family pledge, I'd like to invite up Reverend Milhan Stevens.
가정맹세 1. 천여급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조의 상임 지상천국과 천상천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천여급 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국계에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과皇族권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조의 상인 천주대 가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천여국 주인 우리 가정은 참사랑을 중심하고 천여국 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 천상천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
Thank you, Reverend Stevens. And to give us the opening prayer, I'd like to invite up Mr. Jorg Heller. If you can, please unmute yourself.
Good morning, everyone. If you hear some background noise, my wife is translating it into Japanese, so bear with me. Heavenly Parents, we're so grateful to come before you this morning and share this morning devotion with you. We're so grateful for you and your desire to raise us up and become the people that you want us to be. We're grateful for True Parents and all the work that they have done in the past. And True Mother, what she's doing now. We're waiting for True Mother to come to America, and we want to prepare our hearts to receive her well, guide her and teach her, and help her to understand us, the desires that we have, and the needs that we have, and the devotions that we want to make to her. Thank you so much for your love. Thank you for everybody online today. Yes. Our devotion time, I pray and offer this prayer and leave the upper head, bless the family.
Thank you, Mr. Heller. And also we extend our gratitude to your wife for translating for all of our Japanese brothers and sisters. And now, brothers and sisters, we like to take this time to go into our breakouts so that we can share our own, very own appreciation points with each other. So, yes, please don't be shy and share with your brothers and sisters who you get paired up with. And also, if you're here alone, then you can take this time to reflect for yourself. So, let us go into breakouts. Welcome back, brothers and sisters. I hope you had a wonderful time sharing with each other. I know I did. And to start us off, I'd like to welcome Mrs. Catherine Davis to share with everybody. So if I can ask you to please unmute yourself. Mrs. Catherine Davis.
Okay, there we have it. Good morning, everyone. Well, one of the things I shared this morning was I love Dr. Young's spirit. And many of us, we had been praying for such a leader, that we could see such a leader as him. But what I love about him is that we can, the principle says that there's male and female attributes in each of us. But here we have a Korean leader who's a male, who is not afraid to be artistic. I think it's very important for leaders to show their heart and not just the intellectual side. And he so shamelessly and just freely shows love and heart. And I remember when we first began the morning devotion, he would walk over to True Parents' picture at Belvedere, and he would kiss the picture and touch the picture and talk about how much he loved True Parents. And that's remarkable to see that modeled. It's beautiful. Secondly, I'm grateful to him that he stands up for True Mother and that he understands her role. And I've been defending her since she began. And my big question was, how can people think that she's not the Messiah too? Jesus needed a bride. Obviously, Father had a bride. And we used to watch her at Belvedere when we'd hear True Father speak. And she was just so struggling and going through the same things we were. And I thought, why in the book of Revelations do they say, don't blaspheme the Holy Spirit, don't blaspheme the bride? Why are they suddenly going to, after 2,000 years, going to blaspheme the Holy Spirit, a spirit that works with Jesus? It doesn't make sense. So we only talk against someone who's substantial and physical. So they must be referring to True Mother. And also True Mother is the bride who's traveling the world, blessing people. And that's what the bride in the book of Revelations is doing. She is telling people, come to the blessing. And so I'm just so happy. I can't explain how happy I am to see Dr. Kim, because he reminds me of True Father. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis, for your sincere sharing. And next, I'd like to call upon Mrs. Sarah Hirano to share. So if you can please unmute yourself. Mrs. Sarah Hirano.
Oh, good morning. Oh, so happy to share after my sister Catherine. I just love her dearly. I just really, my reflection this morning is how moved I was on Saturday, seeing Mother and the whole Blessing Festival and the 61st anniversary of True Parents' Holy Wedding. And at one point in the celebration, I was seeing Mother, and I think it was after her prayer, but and also the Korean entertainers. I really love those three singers, and I felt I just really want to bring joy to True Mother, But I felt in watching Mother at one point in the ceremonies how much maybe Father was there with her, but I felt her missing True Father physically. 61 years, marriage. I know she's with Father, consistently, constantly spiritually, but physically I felt Father was really there with Mother, but just she's missing Father physically, and how much I really wanted to welcome Mother to America. I really wanted to give these 40 days now to really prepare just complete heart, complete Shimjung in activities every day, in just a prayer every day. But more than that, just by being by being sincere every day and trying to bring my heart to God the way that Mother does. So, and as a family, as a nation, just really praying for the nation to bring our heart as America's heart, no matter where people lie racially, politically, financially, our family situations, our children's situations, whatever it is, whoever we are, just be who we are, and be able to come together and really offer the country to True Mother. That's what I really pray for and hope for these 40 days. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Hirano. And yeah, thank you, brothers and sisters, for sharing your appreciation with each other. And now we like to go into the main portion of our morning heart devotion. So let us open up our hearts, and we'll be watching a recording of our Continental Director for North America, Dr. Chung Sik Yong.
안녕하세요. Good morning. Good morning. 오하요 고자이마스. 니하오마. 봉주와. Buenos días. Buongiorno. Guten Morgen. Selamat pagi. Dobraya utra. Peace. Salam. Salam. Alaikum. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Sawadikap. Namaste. My dear brothers and sisters, clergies and ambassadors for peace, 안녕하십니까? I hope all of you, yesterday you had a great time with the True Mother, right? Yeah, yesterday also I was very, very moved by participating in the holy in the Hyojung Cosmic Blessing Festival to celebrate the 61st anniversary of True Parents Holy Wedding. True Parents Holy Wedding is the most important day in the world throughout human history. More than True Parents' birthday, God's Day, Children's Day, more than any other days. It is because without True Parents' Holy Wedding, humankind would not have the opportunity to reborn, resurrect, and have an eternal life. The salvation of humankind began with the True Parents' Holy Wedding. Yesterday, I talked about you should not make any excuses. Satan always tries to justify himself by making excuses. However, God takes responsibility for himself. If God was to attribute all problems of human beings to our ancestors, then who would take responsibility for the providence of restoration? Today, I'd like to talk about the reason God toiled tirelessly. The reason God toiled tirelessly. Also, really, we can learn about very important things from our true parents. I'd like to invite the beautiful, our Heavenly Honey, to read True Father's Word.
The Mistakes of Ascetics. Up until now, whenever ascetics reach a certain level of achievement, they have all boasted about themselves and thought that they can achieve anything, that God's power will come to them so they can accomplish everything. However, that is not at all the case. Demonstrating your ability is not the path of love. The path of love starts from doing the most disliked work, dirty work. Do you understand? All the people praying in the mountains are saying that the time is now. The time certainly is now. Therefore, it is time to find the owner, Messiah. The person I met the other day was such a person as well. At that time, he had said that the time had come for him, and that is why he had met me. And he wanted me to recognize that he offered more devotion than anyone to meet me. What is there to recognize? If I want to recognize him, then I will. If I don't want to, then I won't. It is up to me to decide.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. Actually, today's Father's Word really, of course, I already knew something, but really completely again changed my mindset again. I really again reconfirm, what's the most important thing in our life of faith. And then Father talking about the mistakes of, ascetics. Until now, when ascetics reach a certain level of achievement, top of the growth stage, they receive a revelation that they are the Lord, like Rev Chung Lee or other spiritual leaders. They reach it to certain level, then always they receive some revelation from heaven. And then spiritual world tell them, you are the Lord. Once they receive the revelation, they think they can achieve anything by boasting about themselves. They think that God's power will come to them so they can accomplish everything. They thought that God's love is an ability and power. They thought it was making the impossible possible. They thought it was causing miracle and wonder. They thought it was healing the sickness of the body and soul. They did not know that the heart is an essence in God's love. Wow. Really. I think many, spiritual leaders throughout the human history, and also many ascetics, those who are dedicated for the sake of the God's will, they kind of completely misunderstanding what is God's love. Their understanding is very, very external. They believe in that God is so much powerful God. God is Almighty God. God is omniscient and omnipotent God. Whatever God wants, He can do anything. He can bring the miracle. They believe in God in such a way. Of course, some part is true, but that is a very, very external things. Demonstrating your ability is not the path of love. This is very important, Father's guidance. Again, demonstrating your ability is not the path of love. Jesus' disciples fail because they focus on using Jesus' miracles and wonders or are trying to become successful. That was the problem. Healing people's soul and body. and then bringing miracles and wonders. That is the result. This is the only result, from the heart and love. However, Jesus' disciples and the spiritual leaders and then many ascetics throughout the human history, they only focus on God's external power, not focus on heart and love. If we focus on heart and love, and then, the miracles and wonders and any ability naturally comes out. That's why fallen world focus on material and external things and body desires. They got a wrong motivation. What does fall mean? So focus on body, not mind. That's why anyone focus on external power, external result, external miracles, external wonders, and external kind of the political position, external money, you surely fail. You need to know that what is the essence in God's love. The essence in God's love, the essence is what? The essence is God's love and heart. That's why I'm so inspired by Father's guidance. His guidance, what is? Focus on heart, how to cultivate heart. What is the fall? Lost the heart, lost the love. Not just only focus on just eating the, fruit of knowledge of good and evil. You need to know the cause, not result. Otherwise, it cannot solve the problem. Wow. I am so grateful, Father. No one seriously guides us in order to solve individual problem, family problem, society problem, nation's problem, the world problem. Not just only expecting some kind of the miracles to come from the heaven. You need to focus on heart and love, how to cultivate our fallen human heart. Without changing our heart, without changing our internal attitude, without changing our motivation, just only focus on external motivation, surely fail like Jesus' disciples. That's why Jesus' disciples got a wrong motivation. If I follow Jesus, I can bring the miracles and wonders. Someday, when Jesus become King of Kings, and then I can become government minister or government. They kind of the expectation from Jesus. That's why when Jesus crucified on the cross, nobody died on behalf of Jesus at that time. Why? They have a wrong motivation. They focus on external things. That's why in our movement, in the beginning, the many people are join our movement to hear of the divine principle, so inspired. But many of them have a wrong motivation using the divine principle and focus on external things. Anyone focus on external things, surely you are tired on the way and then get out from our movement. Why we cannot have an experience of resurrection? Because we do not focus on heart and love. We just only focus on external things. That's why we are always focused on condition. Huh? Conditional blessing. Focus on external activity. Of course, we need to do external activity. External, really, many things. But What is the purpose of the external activity? In order to cultivate our heart, in order to grow up ourselves, in order to resurrect ourselves, you need to know that what is the most important thing. Here, very important thing today. This is the main key point I learned from Father. The path of love starts from doing the most disliked work, which is dirty work. Wow. When we think about the miracles, and they easily feel like external power. However, Father said, the path of love starts from the doing the most disliked work. Everybody doesn't like. Because that job is really dirty work. No one wants to be responsible. No one wants to bear the cross. The higher the spiritual world standard, the lower the body should be. You should always have the heart of the parents and wear the body of a servant. The heart of the parents is very, very at a high level. The more deepest, the more highest, more widest, more deepest, that is a parental heart. Even though you reach that kind of standard, like almost near to heavenly heart, however, what's your body position? Your body position need to go down and down and down and down, become servant's body. This is the standard of true love. You should always have the heart of the parents, and physically you need to wear the body of a servant. This is a really top secret. What is God's ministry? God's ministry have the heart of the parents and then wear the body of a servant. However, if you just only understand external things, focus on miracles, focus on God's external power, external knowledge, and then not easy to come down and become humble man. You need to know that love begins from the lowest place. Love begins from bottom of the bottom. That's why when you know God's heart, when you know Jesus' heart, when you know true parents' heart, and then your body need to go down more and more and more, serving the people, then your heart only can settle down. Wow. This is a really, really great guidance. That's why how Jesus is great, we can learn some lesson from the Bible. Matthew chapter 20, verse 27. Whoever wants to be first must be your slave. Same as the Father's guidance. You need to have a parental heart and wear the body of a servant. And then you can really become parents, true husband and wife, true brothers and sisters, and true children. Do you want to be first? Then your body needs to go down and go to the bottom of the bottom. Bible also, another Bible verse, Matthew 23:12. For whoever exalts himself will be humbled, and whoever humbles himself will be exalted. Wow. Really, this kind of, understanding, this kind of the guidance given by Jesus. Amazing. Jesus, he knows that what is the standard of the true love. Even though Jesus teach in such a way, but Jesus' disciples just only understand Jesus' external power, which is miracles and wonders. They believe more Jesus' miracles and wonders more than Jesus' word. They got a wrong motivation. Any ascetics who boast about themselves and think they are the best are not God-centered but self-centered. That's why, many people are saying that the product of arrogance is what? Self-destruction. Even though Jesus' disciples followed Jesus, but they have different motivation. Jesus focused on God's heart and God's love. But Jesus' disciples have different motivation. They focus on Jesus' external power, healing the people, make the miracles and wonders and healing people. This is the result, just only result. This result comes from where? Jesus' quality of his love cure people's sickness, disable people's problems. We did not know Jesus' heart. We did not know Jesus' internal motivation. He did not make the miracles for the miracles. That's why Father said, I don't want to initiate any miracles. And then he learned throughout the human history. He said that I need to educate people from God's word. The main point is how to cultivate human's heart. That's why Father's speech, especially 1950s and 1960s, he just only focused on heart, God's heart, Jesus' heart, central figure's heart. He really focused on heart and love. We need to know that Bible saying that there are faith and hope and love was the greatest. Greatest love. Faith for what? Faith for love. Hope for what? For love. Okay. Another Father's word. Heavenly Honey.
The reason God toiled tirelessly. Why did God toil tirelessly? It was in order to find his sons and daughters who can unite with his heart. What was the reason God toiled tirelessly and worked on the providence of restoration? It was to find his children. That is why he toiled tirelessly. His son and daughter, it was to find Adam and Eve. Then why do people walk a path of suffering centered on God? It is in order to find their sons and daughters and to establish a four-position foundation. When looking at it from this point of view, you can say that God has a dual purpose in finding his beloved children. Firstly, he needs to find a man, and secondly, a woman. Therefore, it is not enough to restore Adam and Eve. Even their children must be restored in order to establish a four-position foundation.
Thank you, Heavenly Honey. What is the reason God toiled tirelessly? Why do you need to meet God's suffering? Father said, It is because God's pain contains his sorrowful heart and tears from losing his children, longing for his children, and his blood and sweat in his suffering. That's why when my suffering meet God's suffering, and then we can understand how much God has a sorrowful heart in order to save me, in order to save you, in order to save all mankind. Therefore, without meeting God's suffering, we never understand what is God's wishes, how much God loves me, how much God tried to raise up me. We never understand. When my suffering meet God's suffering and hardship, and then only there's the way to solve my suffering. My suffering only can be solved through the meeting God's suffering. And even God's suffering also can be solved through the meeting my own suffering. That's why suffering can solve the problem through suffering. Why God has toiled tirelessly? It is in order to find his children who can unite with his heart. It is in order to find the object partner of love. One of the most suffering thing is, there is no communication, with my object partner. Children never understand parental heart. Parents never understand children's heart. And husband never understand wife's heart. Wife never understand husband's heart. This is really, really suffering. No money, no material, there is nothing. The most difficult thing is what? Cannot understand each other artistically. Then, even though you are my object partner, cannot give and take artistically, that is like a hell. You already have experience between parents and child, between the husband and wife relationship. Even though externally you are couple as a husband and wife, but never understand each other. Wow. This is really, really suffering. Why God is suffering? Because human being never understand God's suffering. There is nothing without object partner of love. Love comes from object partner. You cannot produce love by your own self. Joy and happiness and love, you cannot produce by your own self. That's why human beings need to live for the sake of the object partner. Without object partner, I cannot accomplish my love. Therefore, no heart is nothing. No love is nothing. It was in order to find his sons and daughters who can unite with his heart. That's why was the reason God toiled tirelessly. He really wanted to find his object partner who really can communicate with his heart. There is a artistic communication between subject partner and object partner. There is already the kingdom of heaven. Does not matter. Even though externally you are very poor, but understand each other artistically. Unite together artistically. There is already the kingdom of heaven. However, since Adam and Eve fall and go down to the hell of the hell, nobody understands God's suffering heart. Who completes the partners? Who complete the parents? The children only completes them. No one else. Who complete the husband? The wife. The object partner is absolute. Without your object partner, without your wife as a husband, you cannot become perfect being. Without your parents, you cannot become perfect being. As a parent, you don't have your children, you cannot become perfect parents. This is an amazing principle. Who complete me? Who can make me perfect being? My object partner. Therefore, my object partner is eternal, absolute, unchanging. Only through my object partner I can become perfect being. That is a universal law. That's why even God needs to suffer, because his object partner, human being, not yet reach to God's level. Then who complete God? Do you think? Of course, God is externally Almighty God, omniscient God, so much powerful God. But in terms of the heart and love, God not yet become perfect God. Not yet perfect God. Many of them maybe be question what I'm talking about. But according to Father's word, in terms of love and heart, God not yet become perfect being. Because his object partner is not yet perfect. How can we say that God is a perfect God? God's heart never reaches to the standard of the perfection. Then who completes God? Human being. Without children, who can tell you that you are my father, you are my mother? Because of children, you have the name. I am Papa, I am Mama. Wow. God is a perfect, God is a God. If God is a perfect God, there is no failure. Right? God created human being, but human being made a mistake. And then finally affect to God's creation. That's why God's creation not yet perfect. When your child become 10 years old, and father and mother have to be 10 years old. When your children become 20 years old and they become mature, and you also become 20 years old. That is God's heart. Who completes God? Human being. Therefore, God, when God thinks about the human being is the eternal object partner, and then unchanging partner, and then absolute partner. So no matter what, God needs to save a human being. Otherwise, who can become God's object partner of true love? No choice. No choice. He cannot throw away any human being. No matter what, he needs to save his object partner. That is a principle of true love. God suffers until human beings experience God's heart and realize it. When the child knows the heart of the parents are the finally completed. The completion here refers to the completion of the heart. That's why Father said, was the perfection of a heart? The perfection heart is the perfection of the filial piety. The kingdom of heaven is a war where we understand each other with the heart. The original world must be in harmony with God's heart. The completion of God's heart is known known only when I become a parent. You need to have children and raise them. The kingdom of heaven is a world where parents know the heart of their children, children know the heart of the parents, and couples know the heart of each other. So we need to the four great realms of heart. When we experience four great realms of heart, there is not just only human beings' perfection. At the same time, God also become perfect being. However, it is not only necessary to seek sons and daughters, but to achieve the four-position foundation and experience four great realms of heart. God's heart is settled only through the four great realms of heart. No Christians and no philosophers, no saints talk about four great realms of heart, three great kingship. How to become perfect being? Not centering on individual. No one clearly explain and describe how can our heart become perfect God, a perfect heart. How can we completely cultivate our heart? Not centering on individual, centering on family. Right? Centering on family. And the centering on family, focus on what? Focus on four great realms of heart. Without understanding parental heart, without understanding conjugal heart, brothers and sisters' heart, and then without the children's heart, we never understand God's heart. That's why when we start to understand God's heart, it begins from the blessing, marriage blessing. Marriage blessing is like a beginning step. Then you need to establish a family. Without establishing family, how can you experience conjugal love and parental love? When you have children, you're raising up your own children, they become brothers and sisters. Everything begins from marriage blessing. There is no marriage blessing. Do not marry. What are you talking about? You never ever understand God's heart. That's why Father Chasana will say that he focused on four-position foundation, not centering on individual. What's the reason God toiled tirelessly? In order to find and restore four-position foundation, not just only focus on Adam and Eve, not just only focus on brothers and sisters. Focus on four-position foundation. External foundation is a four-position foundation. What's the internal foundation? That is four great realms of heart and three great kingship. The restoration of the four-position foundation, you should not stop at the restoration of the individual. The great man of history did not know this. All religion focus on only individual salvation. That's the problem. Any religion, any group focus on individual salvation is to become selfish. That is the problem. If you focus on individual salvation, difficult to reach brothers and sisters' heart, difficult to reach it to parental heart and conjugal heart. That's why anyone focus on the family salvation, and then we can practice how to live each other, how to live for the sake of others, for parents, for my spouse, for my brothers and sisters, for my own children. That's why any religion focus on ideal family, centering on four-position foundation and three great kingship, nobody becomes selfish. Wow. This is a great revolution. Father talking about salvation begins from where? Begins from family, not individual. That's why that was Jesus' resentment. Jesus' bitter heart. He could not establish a family. When I think about that, I'm so sad about it. Jesus did not marry. That's why one day, Father, find Jesus' spouse. Jesus already in the kingdom of heaven because already he have 4-portion foundation. Wow. Throughout 6,000 history, nobody discover salvation begins from family. All religions are centered on individual salvation. Whoever you see, you need to help them have the 4-position foundation. However, you should know that the center of the 4-position foundation is a heavenly parents. The center of the individual, family, tribe, and nation is a heavenly parents. The reason True Mother made a heavenly parents holy community is because heavenly parents should be the center of everything. That's why I really appreciate Mother creating, heavenly parents holy community. Women Federation for World Peace, centering on what? Everybody talking about the world peace. Women Federation for World Peace, centering on what? Should be centering on heavenly parents. And then Family Federation for World Peace, centering on what? Centering on heavenly parents. Youth Federation for World Peace, centering on what? Centering on heavenly parents. That's why Mother said, final and the most important organization is what? Heavenly Parents Holy Community. Under the Heavenly Parents Holy Community, can embrace everything under the umbrella of the Heavenly Parents Holy Community, and then everybody will focus on God. Okay? Individual 4-portion foundation is what? Centering on what? Centering on God. My mind centering on God. My body centering on God. And then for the family 4-portion foundation, what? Husband focus on God. Wife centering on first focus on God. Children focus on God. Then can create about the 4-portion foundation. What is the center of the 4-portion foundation? That is God, Heavenly Parents. That's why any activity, any federation should be centering on God, centering on Heavenly Parents. That's why Father, even though through Father creates so many federation, association, organization, but Mother want to embrace everything under the umbrella of the Heavenly Parents Holy Community. Wow, Mother is really great. I'm so admire about the Mother's guidance. In conclusion, my brothers and sisters, what is the reason God toiled tirelessly? He really wants to see not just only his own sons and daughters. He wants to see 4-position foundation, external 4-position foundation, and internal 4-position foundation. That's why he want to experience through the family, blessed family, want to have experience for great realms of heart and 3 great kings. Again, we understand very clearly in detail what the reason God toiled tirelessly. And also, please, my brothers and sisters, need to understand God's focal point is what? Heart and love. Not centering on miracles, not centering on external power or position. If we know that, automatically we are trying to have the parental heart and then willingly wearing servant's body. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yong. And today he was attending a rehearsal for the Holy Day celebration that will be taking place in Korea later on. So that's why, even though he's so busy and his schedule is very packed, he was really showing his dedication and commitment to all of us by being able to send in that recording. So we're truly grateful for your message, Dr. Yong. Thank you. And now, brothers and sisters, we'd like to take this time to share our reflection and any insights that we may have from his guidance. So let us go into our breakout rooms and share with each other. sisters, I hope you had some deep insights you're able to share with one another. And to start in sharing with the whole group, I'd like to invite up Mr. Lawrence Bear. If you can please unmute yourself.
Hi, thank you so much. I was really touched by today's sharing, and I felt it really related to my life in a very personal way. Much of my, work in the movement has been very external. For 7 years, I started and ran carpet cleaning companies. So talk about going down and doing the dirty work. We did that, and a lot of brothers and sisters worked with me in that. And then for another 10 years, I ran or helped to run an international economic institute. So he was talking about the trap of external power and position, and how important it is to really go down and have a heart of a servant, and to really, the closer your spirit gets to God, the more lower you have to go down to become a servant, and that really touched me deeply. And I shared that a couple of years ago, my oldest son, we have 5 children, and they're all blessed, and almost soon to be 8 grandchildren. But my oldest son, his house was destroyed, and at the time we thought it was a great tragedy. But actually, he and his family moved in with us, and for the last 2 years, we've had such a deep and wonderful experience living together with our children and our grandchildren. And now, as they build their new house, we're planning to live with them. So it's an amazing blessing from God, and I really resonated with the centrality of developing heart in that 4-position foundation. That's so much more important than all the external things. But any of the external things that I do, I need to really center those on God's heart, center those on serving, and really not focus on the external or the position or anything like that. It all has to be with the heart of a servant. So that's the heart of a parent. I'm sorry, and the body of a servant. But that's what I got from the sharing today.
Thank you, Mr. Bear, for your sharing.
Thanks.
And congratulations for your 8th grandchild coming soon. And next, I'd like to invite up Miss Misun Thea to share. If you can please unmute yourself.
Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm really grateful for today's morning devotion, as always. Yeah, something I was thinking about how God's heart is always, God's love and God's heart is always like just to love us all the time. And I have been like experiencing like this heart that, like within myself, this heart that I really want to be sensitive about other people as well. Because everyone has a heart, and each person, we're all, important to God, and we should really love each other. So to be godly, I should also consider others' feelings, no matter if I'm right, no matter if I think what I have to offer is good. I should always be considerate of the person's heart. So that was my biggest takeaway from this morning devotion. It really just reminded me of that, like God's love. That's so important. And it's so easy to just always go with what we think is the best. But yeah, most important is God's love. Thank you.
Thank you, Misun, for that wonderful sharing. All right. And thank you, everyone, brothers and sisters, for sharing your insights and And I invite you to please continue to share it, even outside of morning devotion, because it's a great opportunity for other brothers and sisters to hear Dr. Young's message, and also for them in that conversation, you can warmly invite them for them to join these morning devotions as well. And especially, it'd be good to invite your Trinity members. Because it'd be a great boost in the spiritual foundation laying for your online holy communities to stand strong. And finally, I'd also just like to remind everyone to please turn your attention to the chat, as the Zoom link, the link to the donation will be posted on there. And also, if you're watching the live streaming, it'll be right here at the bottom of your screen. And with that, brothers and sisters, I'd like to invite up Mr. Craig Smith for our wonderful musical offering. So, Mr. Craig Smith, if you can unmute yourself.
I have unmuted myself. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good. Now, good morning, brothers and sisters. I'm very grateful to be here again. This particular song, I've been singing a lot of very old hymns. This song actually was written by a sister that I worked with in the Barrytown kitchen over 40 years ago. And she has since forgotten it. It was written by Sister Paulette Weisinger. And I hope she attends the morning service on the left, in the California coast, so that she knows that I remember her and I remember the songs she used to make. This one is called Moonbeams Dancing, and it is one of the few songs I've ever heard that does not require any type of accompaniment. It is just too freewheeling to require that. So here it is, Moonbeams Dancing. Moonbeams dancing with the trees, pretty melodies play the leaves. Soft clouds gently floating by, reminding you and I of forever. Many gifts such as these are given by God, whose love is so great. All the time that we are searching, He's standing right inside the gate, and He's sending moonbeams dancing with the trees. Pretty melodies play the leaves. Soft clouds gently floating by, reminding you and I of forever. When the skies turn dark and gray, it's just a storm a-brewing. We need the rain so desperately to keep this green world growing. And there'll soon be moonbeams dancing with the trees. Pretty melodies play the leaves. Soft clouds gently floating by, reminding you and I of forever. When you walk and enjoy creation, talk to Him. He's waiting for your call. He will answer in a way that will touch you, if you have faith that He'll answer at all. And He'll bring you moonbeams dancing with the trees. Pretty melodies play the leaves. Soft clouds gently floating by, reminding you and I of forever. Reminding you and I of forever. Thank you very much.
Wow, wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. Craig Smith, for sharing your beautiful voice. It was such a soothing, beautiful song. And with that, brothers and sisters, we like to close up today's morning devotion experience with a prayer. And so I'd like to invite up Miss Mika Uokawa to give us our closing prayer.
Yes, fisherman prayer. Good morning. Hello, God, our heavenly parents, our chief parents, and our brother Jesus. Thank you so much again for this love and this devotion that Dr. Young is investing into this morning devotion every single day, God. This kind of junction that he's not missing every single day despite his busy schedule in Korea. He's always wanting to be this mediator for your love to really tell us people in America, or even all those people who are watching worldwide, just how much you desperately want to love us through your words that your parents have left for all of us, God. Especially living in America, we recognize and understand this providential role that America really has and this responsibility, especially as younger people raising up to become these leaders, just how much responsibility can we hold up as this position to really embrace our brothers and sisters who need to understand who your parents are, who need to understand your deepest love, God. And today, Dr. Young, his message was the reason why you have toiled tirelessly, God, was ultimately to find each of us, God. Ultimately to find each of us who are going to stand up in your providence, who are going to stand up and testify with heavy confidence that your parents are the Messiah, or have this confidence that this kind of spiritual revolution that we're trying to share is really the prominent thing that everyone would want to join, everyone want to be excited for. And ultimately, as children, we cannot be perfect unless we have our object partner. So that's why you need us, God, and that's why we need our brothers and sisters here, whoever we are, our family and friends, that can pull out our fallen natures, pull out our shortcomings, heavy parents, so that we can grow our hearts in love. Because ultimately we are these people, these providential people living during this providential time. And so there's still so much to learn, still so much to really grow. But I just want to say thank you so much for this time and this day to receive your love through Dr. Young each and every single day. And just want to say we love you, and I put my name Miko Okal, that of Kinchin Taiko Okal Central Family. Aju. Aju.
Aju. Wow, thank you for such a powerful prayer, Mika. What a way to end today's morning devotion. And with that, brothers and sisters, thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you can have a wonderful, blessed day and a victorious day. Bye-bye. God bless you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.